This session is focused on IFRS 16 and how easy you can manage your leasing reporting standards to your ERP and what implications they have on your accountability and financial reports. I am Arturo Aguila, Operation Director at QHSS, and you are very welcome to this webinar. Yes. What is the agenda we are going to review today? First of all, an introduction to who are Quick Hit Solutions. After that, we will focus on our session on what IFRS 16 is and what its implication in accounting books are. Also, what's changed you should implement in your financial report and how you keep financial statement version with or without IFRS 16 to check the impact you will have on those reports. And finally, we will see a demo of the solution in an FCCS instance so you can check all the potential that this application has. Who is Quick Hit Solutions? Quick Hit Solution is a tech company focused on optimizing and innovating EPM and business intelligence process, such as financial planning, forecasting, long-term plan, financial consolidation, and closing, profitability and cost, operation, strategic and regulatory reporting, comprehensive management of customers and big data in organization throughout America and Europe. We implement sales and operation planning, financial forecasting, strategic long-term plans. We also provide solutions for profitability and cost analysis, BI, dashboard, and KPIs, 360 view about customers' intelligence applications, move to cloud roadmaps and solutions in order to make our customers more agile. That is related to our cloud transformation practices. And of course, big data implementations, mainly focus on data engineering activities and information analytics. Today, our main goal is to talk about tip and trick related to IFRS 16 and its implementation on FCCS platform. This solution works on Oracle EPM software as a services approach, so your business requirement can be met fully, keep capabilities for your financial process related to leasing can be converted end to end. It's not a managed tool for your leasing. That's important to clarify. Change the lease accounting standard have a far-reaching impact on lessees. Business process system and controls. Lessees require significantly more data around their leases than before give the one balance sheet accounting for most all leases. Companies need to talk a cross-functional approach to implementation, not just accounting. The new standard may affect lessors' business model and offerings, as lease need and behavior of lessees change. It may also accelerate existing market developments in leasing, such as increased focus in our service rather than physical assets. The IFRS 16 requirements eliminate nearly all balance sheet accounting for lessees and redefine many commonly used financial metrics such as gearing ratio and EBITDA. This increases comparability, but also affect covenant credit rating, borrowing cost, and your stakeholder perception of you. The earlier you begin to understand what impact this standard maybe have on your organization and better prepare you are to iron potential issues and reduce implementation cost and compliance risk. This is some of our customers related to EPM and BI implementations. What is IFRS 16? IFRS introduced a single lessees accounting model for leases with a term or more than 12 months, unless the underlying asset is a lost value. A lessee is required to recognize a right-to-use asset, representing its right to use an underlying leased asset and leased liability, representing its obligation to make lease payment. A lessee's measurement right to use asset similarly to other non-financial assets, such as property, plant, and equipment, and lease liabilities similarly to other financial liabilities. As a consequence, a less recognized depreciation and right of use asset and interest of liability, lease liability. The depreciation will usually be on a straight line basis. In the statement of cash flow, a lessee separates the total amount of cash paid into principal present within financial activities and interest presented within either operation or financial activities. Assets and liability arising from a lease or initial measured on present value basis. The measurement includes no cancelable lease payment, including inflation-linked payment, and also includes payment to be made in optional period if the lease reasonability certain to exercise an option to extend lease, or not to exercise an option to terminate the lease. The initial lease asset equal to lease liability in most cases. Some indicator and financial statement lines are being impacted. The assets and liability on their balance sheets increase significantly, with a potential material impact and covenant calculation. The cost profile on their income statement change with cost skewed towards the early years at leases and greater volatility due to the frequency of recalculation. The nature of the cost in the income statement change with a positive impact of EBITDA, but greater weighting to financial cost and depreciation again potentially impact calculation of covenants. Depending on the wording of financial documents, this could also have an impact on cash sweep, management bonus, and alikes. The accounting benefits of sale and leaseback transaction could be negatively impacted. How to implement IFRS 16? What is important to do when implementing IFRS 16 on FCC's instance? First, be sure you are uploading all leasing information you need in order to calculate right of use assets and net present value liabilities. In this way, you will allow user to model and analyze the historic information uploaded in application. Be sure to enable all the tracking information for change in contract, so it can deal with data that change between scenarios and do some specific what-if analysis. Be sure you can communicate to all the team involved in the closing process that your financial statement are going to be impacted by IFRS 16 information and policies and your ERP level or FCCS consolidation process. And finally, be sure the team understand each leasing amortization table and the summary values you check in the IFRS 16 application in order to validate change at the total level, but also any your line business that is using lease information for their own operation task. So we talk about implication are facing to try implementation IFRS 16 in the organization. How do it help? Well, mainly to automate all requirements, reports to amortization table of each leasing contract, end-to-end workflow and follow-up, forcing everybody to be on the loop of the closing process and aligned to maintain transparent IFRS reporting. The automation of the input of the output is requirement, and all of this report tracking of change, who made them, when, and why try to change. And of course, notification about task and deadline in the process on any radio or check it's important, be aware of all these activities out of the box inside to FCCS application in Oracle EPM. You have in application different tasks. This is the demo of the environment. You have first task is task. You will go to supplemental data management. You put in this all your task list. First, select this task, IFRS leasing form. You can see all your leasings that you upload. You have two forms to upload the leasing. First, it's import CSV file, or you can do a process batch with EPM Automate. It's the other application that you have in FCCS. Select import for this page, select the file. You have to import the file that you selected and finish. You have see what happened with the file. You have total rows that you upload, complete, error, or what rows you can update it. You have two forms that change or upload, replace or update the file when you are uploading. If all that's good, you have this, this form. In this form, you can see all data. This is a form that you can of fields you want to see. In this case, all fields in white color, it's that you can change. In this case, error in August 31, because the finish date it's different that you need. You can change this date in the same form, and you can check all the process in this form when you uploading all the data for your leasings. In this case, see different kind of currency of the different leasings. You can see USD, another currencies. Remember, the IFRS have two conditions. First, you have to leasings less than $5,000. It's get out of the norm. And the other, it's you have to need one more year than the time of the leasing. In this case, you can upload all your leasings and you have to put some comment. What is the reason that you don't use these two leasings? If you finish to review this, you have a process which you can post all data to send to Cube, but you have to authorization process. You can reject or you can post if you need. You can do some process or authorization that task. When you finish to upload all data and you send to Cube, you have to run the rule. The name of the rule is consolidation, and you have to run this. For this rule, you have to see all these things, all data that you upload in supplemental data management. This is in the Cube. You have to select the point of view of that you need to run. In this case, it's entity, period, a scenario, and a specific year, and run to launch. If you see, you can see all the amortization table, and you can see the different discount factor in this table. You have all the data for any leasing. If you see the same of the power of the Cube, you have scenario, year, entity, and you have the name of the leasing. In this case is lease 1. In the balance sheet, you have different forms that you put in FCCS. In this case, you have my first period, and you can see the last period, and the MBB net book value, you have 0 when you finish the period of the old lease. You can configure some reports. In this case, first have all amortization table that you have for this list. You have the power of the Cube. Select what kind of file here, scenario, entity, and I have a message that it's unstable.
No, go ahead.
Okay. And you have to select the list. This file you can send to all the people that need. And the other report that we have here, it's the same information, but you have only for year. You have all of life of the lease in one report, and you have the annual payment, discount factor, present value, financial cost. You can search or the different adjust that you have for some lease. In this case, you can find 2020 in the file, and you can see what is the lease that you have, the amount of the cost on IFRS 16, you have a total under quota lease that it's lease that you don't put in the norm, and what is the data you have in some lease. In the same application, you have this kind of charts. You can see a different distribution in the scenario and entity currency, what you have in some lease or all lease in this case. You have to filter the entity, in this case Vision Italy. You have to same the same data with another point of view, and you can change to other entity at the same chart. You have this kind of charts, and you can go and drill through to this case. In this case, the cube, it's total geography. If you click here, you go to detail of total geography, and what it's integrate all data in this in this chart. The same thing in all data, all charts in this case. You have different scenarios that you can custom in the application. First, so actual. In this case, it's a what if or simulation scenario. You can do the same thing, select the task. If you can see this, the list one, you have this data for this list, and you can copy all data to the other scenario and put here. You only have to change that you want to change this. In this case, you have to change interest rate. You put 3%, and you can see the change in this. Save the process, launch the same rule, because in FCCS you only have one rule. The name of the rules is consolidate, and select. Let me show you. Select simulation. This is different scenario that we was before in the demo. If you can see the same table or amortization table of this contract, changing the rate factor, profitability and loss impact for you have in IFRS 16, balance sheet, the same thing that saw in the other first period, and you have all the amortization table that you can see: interest ratio, financial cost, capital balance, monthly payment, carry forward liability, right of use asset, accumulated depreciation expenses. You can see in the same, you have the same report that we saw in actual scenario. In this case, see in simulation scenario, and you have the same data if you need. You can put in this case what is the adjust that you have for your process or your ERP or process consolidation that you have to send for this. the same distribution in the scenario, in different scenario. Remember, we can connect this to Smart View, and you can put both scenarios. You can see, if you can see simulation and you can see actual, you can put the difference between in Smart View and Excel. That's it for this very quickly simulation. I don't know if you have some question about this.
If anybody has questions, please be sure to put them in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen.
Sure, we're here to answer any questions that you maybe have. This was a summary of all the tips and tricks in order to have IFRS 16 in your organization. And as Arthur has shown, just a very detailed information about your leasing contracts and also how you can compare them between changes if you need it. So any questions, we are at your service.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. That was a really informative presentation. It doesn't look like we have any questions at this time, but if any come in, I will be sure to direct them to you. So thank you again, everybody. Please stay tuned for our next presentation. At the top of the hour will be Glenn Chang, COO from Interrel, talking about the top 10 customer questions on Oracle EPM.